The immune system deals with recognizing pathogens as foreign and systematically knocks them out. Much of our immune system flows in our blood and reaches all corners of our body. Some cells of our immune system act as sentries. The macrophages reside in our tissues, and when they encounter a pathogen that has breached our skin, they engage in battle and sound the alarm to recruit neutrophils. Here, the following might help summarize some of the main points. Our white blood cells are in essence the cells of our immune system. White blood cells are generally of two types, phagocytes and lymphocytes. Phagocytes, such as macrophages and neutrophils, are central to our innate immune response. The innate immune response is immediate and fast-acting, but has no memory. Macrophages recognize pathogens via PRRs that bind PAMPs. Lymphocytes are the main soldiers of the adaptive immune response. Adaptive immunity is slower to kick in, but more powerful, exquisitely specific, and generates memory. The memory of the adaptive immune response is what protects us when we encounter pathogens a second time. In addition to our white blood cells, the microbiome is an important factor ensuring good health. The presence of native microflora competes against pathogens. The following concept maps further explain the interrelationships between the terms we've learned. In this lesson, we learned about innate immunity. Innate immunity can raise mechanical barriers to infection, external and internal barriers. The external barrier is our skin, made up of epidermis and dermis. The cells of epidermis are referred to as keratinocytes. The internal barrier is our mucosa, which secretes mucus. Mucus is a sticky fluid which can entrap viruses and bacteria, and we can rid ourselves of these stuck pathogens when we cough or sneeze. Now, in addition to the mechanical barriers, there are also chemical barriers. One chemical barrier is in essence the acidity of our stomach, our gastric juices. And when we swallow bacteria or viruses stuck in mucus, then the acidic gastric juices kill these pathogens. In addition to the acidity, there are also active proteins. One protein is lysozyme, an enzyme that kills bacteria. And as we learned, Fleming studied lysozyme and through his experience discovered penicillin. In addition to these mechanical and chemical barriers, we learned about the induced immune response, the induced innate immunity. Induced immunity is mediated via phagocytes. Resident macrophages are such phagocytes that have PRRs, receptors that recognize PAMPs. When macrophages sense the presence of pathogens via PAMPs binding to PRRs, they secrete cytokines and send the alarm. In addition, they can also secrete special cytokines called chemokines. Chemokines create a gradient, highest concentration at the area of infection, which is gradually tapering off as you gain further and further distance from the area of infection. Neutrophils sense this gradient and follow the gradient to the area that has been infected. The macrophages and neutrophils, both phagocytes, eat and kill the pathogens. In addition to the induced innate immune response, we also mentioned the microbiome. Millions and millions and millions of bacteria cover our body and resident in the mucosa. These bacteria are helpful and they compete with pathogens.